So the new Kirby, pretty awesome. And also, I gotta talk about this Go Vacation. Namco is fucking insane. Like, they sat down and they said, you know what sells on the Wii? Casual minigame collections. We are gonna devote 2.5 years with a staff of over 100 people and support for every single Wii peripheral to make the ultimate casual game. And it will be called Go Vacation, and we will sell it for $30. Namco, you're fucking insane. But what makes this brilliant, this is actually a third entry in the Wii Ski series. Now this is actually important. I didn't just play Wii Cheer because I had a creepy cheerleader fetish. I didn't develop that until after Wii Cheer. Thank you very much. I played Wii Cheer partially because a friend of mine showed it to me and said, I found the one music game that you would never play. No, you don't challenge me like that, bitch. he didn't know. But it was also partially because I had just played Wii Ski, which really surprised me. It is the best game on balance board. It's no Alpine Racer. By the way, Namco, where's our Alpine Racer collection for the balance board? But it makes really creative use of the balance board. Wiimote and Nunchuck are your ski poles. Balance board is your skis. And, like, I was not expecting it to randomly start playing Lonely Rolling Star as I was skiing down the mountain. So, it was kind of awesome. And sure enough, Wii Cheer does advertise it in there. And basically what Go Vacation is it took Wii Ski and Snowboard, which was the sequel. That's the snow resort. Almost the entire game is there, and it still has the same balance board support that's, like, really awesome. But they added 3 more resorts. And the mountain resort is lame. The beach resort is alright. And then the city resort, as you can see here, you can rollerblade or you can skateboard, and it's built like a stage from Jet Set Radio, and it is fucking awesome. Now, the minigames are nothing to write home about. Harkening back to Wii Cheer, though, as you can see, there's a dance minigame that is literally exactly like Wii Cheer. So, again, it ties in. They actually advertise the Japanese version of Wii Ski in the city stage of Wii Cheer. So it is part of the same series. But, anyway, like, they do have a small mini Wii Cheer minigame here. It's a little harder, but they have that, but most of the minigames are nothing to write home about. Like, yeah, there's 50 of them. They all work. A lot of effort went into them. Like, the tennis minigame, you can actually use the nunchuck to move around. And if you have the Motion Plus, it uses that. It's not one-to-one racket control, sadly, but it does use the Motion Plus to better detect what type of swing you're doing. So they put, like, it's a solid tennis game. There's a solid third-person shooter with a dodge roll for the squirt gun fights. The air hockey is solid. Like, everything, all the minigames, they're solid. They work. They've got some depth to them, but they're nothing too special. You know, they're just minigames. The real fun of the game comes from just dicking around in the city. Like, you can invite your Miis to come play with you, and you can make other characters and have them join your group if you're playing in single player. You can go through the free roaming resorts in 4-player split screen. The frame rate takes a hit, but you can do it. So that's kind of crazy, you know? It seems weird at first that the free roaming open world resort is more fun than the actual minigame. But when you remember that it's Wii Ski, it actually makes sense, because Wii Ski didn't have the minigames. It just had, like, races and scavenger hunts and crap. It was just, you know, snowboarding and skiing down a mountain. And this, it adds, like, 50 minigames to that, but they're just fluff compared to just skating around the city. Shoot, it actually has a relatively deep, trick system in there, and every vehicle has tricks. I wouldn't say it's a great game. If I reviewed it, it'd probably end up with a 3.5 out of 5, but it's pretty neat, and it does have the Namco references. Like, as I showed in a video I posted earlier, it has a mini Ridge Racer in it, that has the Ridge Racer course and plays like a tropical remix of the Ridge Racer music. The guy in charge of this game, actually, and in charge of Wii Ski, was in charge of all the Ridge Racers since the PSP. So that explains that. It's kind of weird. Wouldn't say it's a great game, but if you have a balance board and $30, yeah, then I'd recommend it. Like, you don't need the balance board, but it adds to it. And of course, the reviews for it are downright sad. Just, this is another one of those, you guys don't even give a shit. Like, I read 2 reviews. The Destructoid, which is, of course, by that one douchebag who's Jim Sterling, and the IGN review. And I don't argue with their scores. A 5 out of 10, that's a fine score for this. A 7 out of 10, that's a fine score for this. But if you read the reviews, both of them say that you don't get to control your character in the minigame. In, like, the tennis and volleyball minigames. You just shake the controller. Well, that only happens the first time you play. The first time you play a minigame, it throws you into the easiest level with the easiest control scheme. You go back, you get, like, a bunch of options and alternate courses, and then you can use the nunchuck to move around. Now, I'm not gonna harp on him for ignoring that fact. Like, that's a little bit of bad form, but what's really bad form, they never mention the housing. After you play, you don't even have to win them. After you play 20 minigames, and they tell you, oh my god, you gotta play 20 minigames. Play at least 20 minigames once. Just, you want to do this, because then you'll collect all the stamps. And once you do that, they give you your own house. And that's when the game really gets crazy, because in order to get new furniture for your house, because you get to customize your house, in order to get new furniture, you have to get silver keys, which you get by beating the minigames. Every minigame has some kind of goal, essentially beating it, that gets you a silver key that you use to unlock furniture. So that's where the actual meat of the game is. That's where you want to do well and unlock shit. You know, that's where you get to the actual point of the game. Neither of these reviews mentioned the housing, and they were not secret. You know, they advertised the housing in the opening sequence and in the advertising for the game. So, the fact that they didn't make it to that, the fact that they didn't even bother to play 20 minigames, like, not even beat them, just play 20, it's kind of telling. I'm just saying. Feels like there was something else oh yeah, Sonic Generations. Yo, speaking of New Super Mario Brothers Wii being sad, I swear, I need to do a video about how pathetic the Wii anniversary release of Super Mario All-Stars is. Because that is a sad thing. I need to just do a video about that, because that thing is pathetic. The soundtrack sucks, the collector's book sucks, and the game is literally a ROM on a disc. And then, what does Sonic do for his anniversary? Fucking Sonic Generations. Look at this shit. Does that not look amazing? That might hijack my next review. Because I need to do a Sonic episode. Because, like, the second most popular thing I've done on the internet is my article, Sonic and the Worst Fandom Ever, where I explain what's wrong with the Sonic fandom and how it got to this point, because they are the worst fandom. And again, you know the phrase, a person is smart, people are stupid, applies to Sonic fandom. I have met sane, reasonable, perfectly normal Sonic fans. But the fandom at large is a fucking mess. And that is what I mean in that article. So if you're gonna tell me I'm a perfectly sane Sonic fan, my friends, they're not like this. Yeah, but the loud minority, that's what I'm talking about in that article. But I have seen complete shit Sonic vids. I can't believe I said vid. Complete shit Sonic videos on YouTube that have more hits than, like, any of my fucking reviews. So it's pretty clear I need to do a Sonic episode. Maybe I'll give Sonic Generations a two-parter, because what I need to do, I need to sit down And I need to explain how we got to this point, because this amazes me. Some of the reviews for Sonic Generations, people are like, it seems like only yesterday Sonic was turning into a werehog. Sonic Unleashed sucks so hard. Guys, Sonic Generations is Sonic Unleashed. It's running on the Unleashed engine. These are the day stages from Sonic Unleashed. This didn't just come out of nowhere, okay? And that's what I want to do. I've played every 3D Sonic when they came out, and I can explain what they were thinking, the little things they did right, and what went horribly wrong, and why, with each 3D Sonic. Like, I can explain the evolution here, so I'm thinking I need to do that. Like, explain how we got to this point. Just... because this didn't just happen overnight. It was a gradual evolution. Sega was listening to and trying to please the fans as much as they could from day one. And shit just kept going wrong. I can explain all of it. So I'm thinking I might have to do that for a video if I'm feeling particularly unlazy and I actually have some time, so don't count on it, but I might need to do that. And speaking of laziness, yes, it has been a year since the Kinect came out. I still haven't reviewed it, but Yahtzee has, and failed utterly. No, seriously, his Kinect review is fucking pathetic. He kicks it off whining about tactile feedback, which, again, tactile feedback is not the issue. If you think the problem with the Wiimote was the lack of tactile feedback, you're a dumbass! No, the problem with the Wiimote was the fact that the actions, the waggling you made had nothing to do with the on-screen action. Okay? That was the real problem. And to the Boom Blocks developers, you're all a bunch of fucking idiots. They came out and they said, oh, it's completely impossible to do one-to-one sword control on the move because of the lack of tactile feedback. Friggin' what? Like half a year since the move already had one-to-one sword control? Gladiator Duel, it works. It's one-to-one sword control. It doesn't have the tactile feedback, but it works just fine. It's not breaking my immersion. Friggin' dumb asses, everyone. Yeah, in case you couldn't tell, you could probably already guess how the ranking's gonna go. I'm still gonna do my motion control review. I'll get back to that in a second. But back to Yahtzee. Excuse me. Back to Yahtzee. Like, he kicks it off, whining about tactile feedback. He has no fucking clue how to play Rise of Nightmares. Rise of Nightmares is one of the rare Kinect games that actually works, but you don't have to just stick your foot out and stand off balance to move forward. You just step forward. Step 1 foot forward. Place 1 foot forward on the ground. That's how you move forward. So he didn't even know how to fucking play that thing. And this is the thing I noticed about Yahtzee's reviews, is that 60 to 80% of them is him cracking jokes, and they go by so fast that there's not a lot of actual review content in there. So when he makes one mistake in his review, one factual error, it kind of destroys the entire review, because he probably spends at least a fifth of his review dwelling on that one point and making jokes about it, and, you know, he's wrong. So, there's that, and then, in the end, he's still saying, oh, the Kinect would be great for navigating menus, never mentioning how terrible the Kinect is for navigating menus. And he ends with, the Kinect would be great if it was used in conjunction with a regular controller, like for spellcasting. Yeah, that's really worth, what, $200? I forget how much the Kinect even fucking cost me. It costs over $100, and it is not worth over $100 just to wave your hand to cast a spell. No, that is not a good use for the Kinect. So, this is amazing. Like, every time I complain about Yahtzee, they go, oh, well, he's just a troll, and, he gives everything a negative review. And then there's the Yahtzee defenders, he's like, or like, well, he's one of the better reviewers out there. You just have to take the negative. You just have to, the less he bashes something, the more he actually likes it. The more of a recommendation it actually is. He did not bash the Kinect enough. This was a no-brainer. Like, it comes with Kinect Adventures. That thing's a piece of shit. That thing's an offense. You're not gonna bitch about Kinect Adventures? It's a fish in a fucking barrel.